It's not gonna, how's it gonna matter unless some guy she slept with, of course, sets you up and robs you or gets you in the back door. You know what I mean? You might want to know, like, have you been with anybody recently that,
So,
I
so,
might
so
have
you
to
would
worry about.
ask. So you would ask.
I would ask if you've been with anybody recently, I'd have to worry about. But that's because due to own safety. See, if you're living in these streets, like really in the hood, you don't look like you're in the hood. I don't want to make you like, you know what I mean? I don't want to say nothing like, oh, you couldn't do it. But if you're out here in the hood, a girl will set you up just to get a better
I appreciate the hint
position.
art.
You know what I mean? She'll set you up real quick just to get a better position. Women have more power when it comes to setting someone up than a dude does. And that's getting off track. But I'm letting you know that we do have to protect ourselves out here
Setting.
because these ladies
Wait.
will set
So
you up.
okay. So what do you mean by like setting you up? Right? Are you saying that like women are more likely to manipulate men than men are to manipulate women?
I'm saying I'm down the block and you're making a lot of money and I don't like it. I'm gonna send this hot chick your way and she likes to do the thing. And you guys are gonna do the thing. And while you're doing the thing, I'm coming in the back door with 3 or 4 more people. Now you're caught off guard. You got no
Appreciate the
clothes on.
subscription. Thank you so much.
You
What?
know what I mean? And now you got zip ties on and I'm walking out with your stereo going, thanks, buddy. Yes, girls can do that all day. It happens all day. Criminals
So are
use
you
girls.
talking? Are you? So you're talking about what you would do. So here's my question. Right? How are you supposed to take care of the family if you're in prison?
This is before I had my daughter and I had my family. I took responsibility as a man after I got out. I discharged in 2007. I ain't gotten in trouble
So then
since.
you can't do that, right? So you shouldn't do that, right? Not only shouldn't you do that, but based on your own view, you shouldn't do that.
What I'm trying to give you is examples. I don't think that you've really dived in because everybody's always talking about this body count, but they don't talk about the repercussions of things to come with it.
No, no, I'm
Sure,
just
if it's a
asking what's
perfect
what's the relevant
girl,
difference between men and women that means that it matters for women but not for men?
that's all perceptive. That's all perception. You
Yeah,
know
yeah.
what I
Why
mean?
under your perception is it that way?
Is it which way? Like,
Is it that it matters for women but not for men?
because women are just like us, man. If you're messed with a girl that she hates or that picked on her in high school, you know what I mean? If you're in a different city, you're gonna get with as many different girls as you want, and they're gonna get with as many different men. No one knows them there, right? If you're in your hometown and you had slept with a girl maybe that hates your woman and they've had beef and they had all these problems, this girl, the girl you're with feels like this girl
So
destroyed her
if you're in
life.
a big city, your body count does not matter.
Well, you can't be just like, yeah, anything doesn't matter. I could be running down the street butt naked with a sign and people are just gonna make a
No,
TikTok
that
of
would
it.
that no, that would matter. You'd quite literally go to prison.
No,
Okay,
I'm in Portland. In Portland, you get to ride bikes butt naked. What are you talking about?
you're lying.
No, I'm not lying. Look at the Portland bike ride off. They ride around with their dongs out. It's sickening, bro. I ain't with it, but I'm just
Is it
saying that's what
isn't
they do.
that public indecency?
No, they don't care in Portland, bro. Look it up. It's actually an event like a holiday. They all ride their bikes butt naked down the street.
Is
Portland's
it
crazy, bro.
is it a cutoff place only for adults?
No. And I'm from Cali. I moved out here and I got culture shocked. And I'm from Cali where it's gang wars and drugs all day and cartel
Cali
stuff.
is not that. Okay, I live in
It is where
California.
I lived or where I grew up. Maybe not in Hollywood up in the
I don't
like
live
where
in
you got millions of
Hollywood.
dollars.
I don't live in Hollywood. Okay.
Look, okay, look up the conviction rate in all the different counties around you. Look at the race of people and what the crimes they're doing, and look how many people have never been to jail. You're gonna be shocked, bro.
Wait, why is the race relevant?
Well, because you, for instance, when you get locked up in jail, you're not gonna have an opportunity to join the cartel, join the Mexican mafia. You know what you're gonna have a chance to join? You're gonna join the Peckerwoods, the Aryan Brothers,
What
the
are you
Nazi
talking
Road
about,
Riders.
bro? What are you talking about, bro? I'm not joining any fucking group. What are you
Then they
talking
would
about?
whack you. They would whack you. So you don't understand in the streets it's real. On TikTok it's fake. We just talk about things to make people mad so you can make
What?
money. I get it. But let me tell you from
Dude, what do you
experience.
mean? What are you talking about, bro?
You're living in a fake world where everything's
I'm
safe
living
and
in a
just
fake
opinions
world.
matter. Yes, opinions don't matter when your
Opinions
lights get shut
absolutely
out.
matter. They influence
Not when
policy
your
and
lights get
influence our
shut out.
lives.
Because then your opinion's gone when your lights get shut out, bro. I'm not saying towards you. I'm saying people don't realize, like, everybody in Palestine has an opinion right now. But once they get wiped out, like they've been doing, they don't have the opinion no more. And it's tore back.
That's because they got
reality.
murdered. That's because they got
They
murdered.
did, exactly. And that's the
So
reality.
what's your point? What's your point?
That's the reality in the streets. That's the reality in jail. It might not be a reality where you are.
So
Some people
you're
have
saying
to walk.
if you get unalived, right? Then it is the case that you don't have an opinion anymore. I'm not disagreeing with
Well,
that.
you
But what's
asked
your
me
point
what
from
race
that?
has to do with it. Some people walk out in their front yard and it's,
Like, are you
where you
saying that
from,
there's like
homie? Where you
systemic
from? What you banging? You don't live in a
discrimination?
neighborhood like
Because I would
that.
agree with that, but like I don't know how you're relating to it here.
You said, why would I ask a girl to check for my own safety? I want to make sure she's not messing with no ops. She's not messing with somebody who's going to try to rob me. That's why. I don't care who she's, you know what I mean? Messed around with.
Okay. So if you know that she slept with a bunch of people, right, but none of them, right, are going to hurt you, right? Is it then okay?
Yeah, I don't care if they're a bunch of square bears. You know what I mean? Like a bunch of squares. Like she slept with the science dude or the chess player or the athlete.
So like if someone has an 1,000 body count, it doesn't matter if they're just all nerds.
How would you know if they had 1,000 body count? No one's gonna even tell you the truth, first of all. And if she buys a toy at the store,
Dude, I'm just telling you under your own view.
no, yeah. If we're talking about body parts, though, right?
So then you don't think so then a high body count for women doesn't matter.
No, but I'm telling you, if she buys a toy from the store, it could do more damage than 1,000 man. Really? You know what I mean? Like, what are we?
Damage? What damage are you referencing?
What type? What are we referencing when we're talking body count? Are you worried that it's too stretched out and you're too small? Or are you
Okay,
worried
so
that,
can you give me any evidence that it quote unquote stretches out?
Yeah, I got my girl. I stretched it out with 2 babies, so I think a toy could stretch it out. But you know what I mean? That's just what I think.
So again, as it relates to this, clearly speaking, right?
Yeah.
There is no scientific evidence to indicate that engaging with multiple sexual partners, right? As
It's
it
not
relates to this,
scientific,
right,
it's perceptive.
is going to literally make you looser, right? That is a myth.
No,
right? Quite literally a myth.
mental is not science. How is someone's perception raised or beliefs gonna be science? That's not science. Science is like, you know what I mean? H2O and the
Dude,
elemental
scientific evidence, dude, you're not understanding, right? There would be like an empirical study that we would relate to.
Yeah, but most studies, the numbers are fixed. That way they could get society to all say, oh, well,
No, they're
let's
not.
say that, so we
Can
should
you give
go
me
that
any
way.
evidence that they're fixed, RX? You're literally whipping shit out of
Listen.
your ass.
Listen, all you got to do is Google it. Numbers get fixed all the time. That's it. Just
Yeah,
Google it.
Would you ingest dihydrogen monoxide?
Dude, I ingested meth when I was at the top of my reign in the streets.
Would you ingest dihydrogen
monoxide?
monoxide?
I don't know if it'll get me high enough. When I was out there running the
This
streets,
guy.
I would, bro. I'm just giving you
Dude, I
the truth.
can't do it.
Hey,
with
you
this
want to
guy,
try
bro.
this good
Dude,
shit? I was on it,
dihydrogen
bro.
monoxide is
Okay, let's
water,
go.
bro. It's water.
Cool, let's have some. You know what I mean? Like you're asking me
can't,
like
man.
this guy's an idiot and don't know nothing. But now if you show up to the block or at the party and you're like, hey, you want some of this? I'll be like, hell yeah, what's it doing? I already got it in my mouth. We're going. We're going there together.
RX, do not promote that. That's not cool. That's not cool.
Why is that not cool when we could promote so many other things? You know, aspirin will tear you up.
I don't think it's
drugs.
I don't think it's cool to promote like taking drugs like that, right? I think it's definitely not.
Did you know it's
promote
fine
that.
out here in Oregon? Look at it, it's been decriminalized. You can do heroin on the
decriminalized
street.
does not
Decriminalized.
Dude, when we say decriminalized, that does not mean go ahead and do this, right? That's not what decriminalized means.
No, they're
right?
giving them the rigs.
Wait. RX, do you think people should smoke cigarettes?
I quit when I started doing jiu-jitsu and MMA. I stopped
Do you
doing
think
cigarettes.
that people should smoke cigarettes?
I think people should do whatever they want. You know, what's that called?
Sure, you can say they should do whatever they want, but what I'm saying is like, would you advise someone against smoking cigarettes?
Depending on their lifestyle, if you want to do athletic things, I'll say don't do that. It's gonna hinder you.
So you
I
wouldn't
tell
advise them
like,
in
you
any
can't do it.
context otherwise than that.
Otherwise,
to
if you
stop
like to
smoking
kick back and drink
Or
gin,
that
you're
you
an older
shouldn't.
fella. You're an older fella. Go ahead, enjoy your cigar, your cigarette, drink your gin. You work your hard day. You get to indulge if you want to. You know what I mean? So, like, it's
okay.
not good to eat McDonald's, like, but you know, people are gonna eat it even though it kills you.
I'm not saying that right. People aren't going to do these things. What I'm saying is that long term, right? You would advise against these things, right?
I don't know, man. My grandma smoked her whole life and didn't die. It seems like when people stop smoking, they get the cancer. I don't know on that basis.
This guy, bro. This guy is actually wild. You just deny all the scientific evidence, dude.
I don't deny
Holy
it. Well,
fuck,
the
dude.
scientific ass
Dude,
evidence.
he said
from
if you
Philip and
stop,
Morris-
if you stop, you get it. Like this
No,
guy,
listen.
this
Philip and
guy,
Morris
dude,
used to
one
say you
person.
don't
He
get
knows one
cancer.
person that never got cancer, right, that means that he's not going to advise people against it, right?
And who says it was the cigarettes and not the food?
Okay, so
Philip
here,
and
I'll give you another thing, right?
Well, one moment. Let me interject just on what you said. Philip and Morris and all the cigarette companies used to say it did not give you cancer. That was a study that was on paperwork and it was put out for the people. That's a study that was fixed. That's a study that was a lie, and that's a study that made a lot of money. All right, now go ahead. My bad.
Yeah, as it relates to this, clearly the ability to be able to fix things as it relates to the 1920s, right, is fundamentally different than today when everyone has a fucking smartphone, right, in their pocket there's quite literally a supercomputer in their pocket, okay?
That's run by the government. I got canceled off of YouTube. I got canceled off of here more than once. Wait, I got canceled off of Instagram for sharing Swedish, Indian, and different countries doctors' notes on the things that was happening back in 2021 and everything else when people were getting the yada yada. You know what I mean?
So you got taken down for vaccine misinformation, and now you're crying about it.
No, it wasn't.
That's not the government,
These
dude.
are doctors.
That's quite literally their private companies that are taking you down because they don't want lawsuits.
No, you're supposed to have a freedom of speech in this country, and people say
freedom of speech is legal, not in the context of like private companies.
Can I finish? That's what I was going to say.
You're talking federally legal
on certain platforms, right? You have to abide by their rules, but it's actually discrimination if you have a mental condition and you go on a platform and you get taken down because they're now, you know what I mean, discriminating against you and your condition. But anyway, let me get past that real quick. So I spread out information from top doctors around the world that has nothing to do with our interest. In fact, Russia didn't take the certain things and they had way less unalives than anybody else. So did a bunch of other countries. But that's besides the fact. We're not going to argue about any of that. We're not going to debate about it. All I'm saying is I should be able to have my opinion like you and do it live no matter what I'm saying. Right?
RX, you're quite literally doing that right now. If the government was suppressing all of that, my live wouldn't be getting sent out right now. I've been shadow banned. RX, you have no clue how many times I've been shadow banned. You have no clue how many times my live's been taken down. If they were really trying to limit this information from getting out, I'm telling you, they would have no fucking issue doing that. I promise you that.
I'm not giving you any information though. All the information on YouTube was fact. Like doctors,
if they don't want all of these types of conspiracy claims to get out, they could limit my live. They literally can. They can just turn on one fucking notification and it.
But I'm giving you an example how I get taken off of these platforms. Well, I tried to sue. I went to Texas Supreme Court, even though I'm over here because I know that
you got taken off platforms. That's not freedom of speech, though.
No, it could be discrimination though if you have a disability, which you're not realizing. That's like saying,
yeah, if they're particularly taking you down for the disability, but like again, this isn't related to freedom of speech. It's related to discrimination, Len. Okay, so that's fundamentally different.
Yeah, it could be fundamentally different, but say I make rules that everybody gets to participate except for people with mustaches or people who are white or people with one arm. It's discrimination. So if you got a mental problem and say you go into a live and you're like, skibbity bibbity doo, yellow pink elephants, woo, they shouldn't be able to like get rid of you. That's just the crazy channel. Stop by if you want. Say hi, make the person feel good, drop them a little money. Maybe they get some mental help. You know what I mean? But saying, oh, you say things that are kind of lined up with the truth and might not be the truth, but they might be, and you're making people think and ask questions. No, we're shutting you down. You know what I mean? That's different. Like,
no, dude, that's not why they took you down. They took you down on YouTube for fucking medical misinformation. RX, you think it's like, oh, they're taking it down because they don't want the truth out. No, quite literally, vaccine misinformation led to people dying, right? And that's why these different types of social media platforms had to take stuff down because else they could have gotten sued from it.
That's what you got told. That is a lie.
No, that's not what I got told. That's what fucking happened, RX. Stop denying reality.
Oh my God,
you can sit there and deny reality all you want because you think you understand the truth. But fundamentally speaking, your view is just as unlikely to be critiqued by yourself as other people would critique the other types of systems that you say people follow like sheeps. Okay? You literally are a sheep, but for the other side.
No, what side? I don't play a side. I'm a convict. That's my side. I'm a man
side, bro. You're conspiracy minded, bro.
No, I'm not conspiracy minded. What makes our doctors better than Sweden's or Indians' doctors?
I'm not saying there was. Literally, if you talk about the vaccine, let me explain. Right, this happened globally. We have information. We have evidence globally.
That was controlled. That was controlled because all of it was
controlled. All of it was controlled. Right
Listen, the FBI admitted it. There was trials. You could go on. You can look.
Give me a source.
You could look it up. FBI admitted to controlling everything that was let on Instagram,
really?
YouTube,
Where can I find this? Tell me.
You won't let me finish.
Oh, you're talking about medical misinformation.
Let me finish talking. And when they asked Zuckerberg and everybody else, why were you doing this? Did the FBI come to you? They said, yes, we were told that if we let certain information out, things would happen. That is the FBI literally controlling.
What would happen? What would happen?
Ask them. They was in the trial. I don't want to sit here and watch the damn hour trial again because
lawsuits could happen.
Hey, guess what? Lawsuits happen every day. If I fart next to somebody, they could say I tried to give them COVID and it was an assault.
Dude, no, not like this, dude. You're not even
understanding.
Sure,
why not? Look, listen. If you even go back when they told African Americans, come over here, we're going to do this little experiment, and they gave them all gonorrhea and let them die, and they could have cured them. Look that up, too.
Yeah, I've seen that. Again, we have actual sources.
At the time, people said that was a lie. It was a conspiracy. It wasn't.
We have actual evidence to indicate this particularly happened. We do not have evidence. Stop talking.
Yeah, I got you. Go ahead.
We do not have evidence indicating these vaccinations negatively impact people.
I do.
We have very, very clear evidence indicating that they are actually effective. Tell me what evidence you have specifically that is indicative of them not working. Because in my bio right now, you can look at there and see over 30 pages of meta-analyses, systemic reviews specifically related to vaccinations and how they're effective.
Great. Now, go find out why Bill Gates got kicked out of India and how many kids he killed with his vaxes. Then turn around and find out what all the doctors of the world have been saying.
Just give me a source. Just give me a single source. Give me a single one, because you're just spitting misinformation, right? I'd love for you to give me a source.
Information when they literally had meetings and court trials over this stuff. You realize that, right?
Tell me the ones then.
They labeled Fauci a whatchamacallit, some kind of war criminal for the stuff he did.
RX, give me the particular title, right?
You want me to do it? Hold up. While you're
I can't hear you when you're paused out of the app, by the way.
I'm trying to. Well, I've only got one phone here. My laptop is fucking unplugged and got dust on it. I'm just going to hit the weed. You have a great show. Try to research. Wake up. You know what I mean? I'm a man who stands on my principles. And I shed the blood to prove it.
The issue with you is that the issue with you specifically is that you do not look for evidence to back up the claims that you have.
I did. I went through it all when it was happening, and it traumatized me, motherfucker. I have PTSD. It traumatized the fuck out of me because none of you dummies will listen. Get the fuck out of here, man.
What are you talking about? As a PTSD as it relates to like having a conversation with me? What are you talking about, bro? I don't know what this guy's talking about. We're gonna go to the next individual. Only send a guest request if you think that a high body count should matter for women, but not for men, y'all. Yo, what's up? How old are you?
I am 27.
For sure. Do you think that a high body count should matter for women, but not for men?
Yeah, it does. And it goes back to, it's not a double standard. It's just, things work differently when you're a guy and when you're a girl. You got me? Well, if a guy gets a high body count, it means that most likely he's doing good for himself. In order for a guy to get a body count, he has to have a car, have a nice place. And be doing well for himself, because a lot of girls nowadays they want a guy that like has his own business and is making good money, whereas girls.
Can you give me any source for that?
Any girl can go to the club and get laid that night if she wanted to. It's really up to her choice, but guys really have to work for it. So,
appreciate the treaty. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
So again, can you give me any source that indicates that women want that specifically?
What do you mean that women want that?
You said that they just want men who are like really rich and got like businesses and stuff. So please give me any evidence to indicate that.
It's just based on what I see in everyday life. You got me? Like I said,
just what you see in everyday life. So just trust me, bro.
To go out to like a bar or something, and a guy has to work twice, if not 5 times as harder to get a girl's number than a girl has to in order to get a guy's number.
Okay, so since you're not going to answer any of my questions, I'll ask you a separate one, right? As it relates to this, right? Do you know who Vinny Hacker is?
Excuse me, what?
Do you know who Vinny Hacker is?
No, I don't.
Do you know who Drake is?
Yeah.
Does Drake have more opportunities than the average woman?
Does Drake have more opportunities than the average woman?
Mm-hmm.
Yes, because he's successful.
Yeah. So in that scenario specifically, what do you think that his body count would matter more than the average woman? Appreciate the handout. Thank you so much.
Does his body count average more than the average woman?
No, does it matter more than the average woman?
Does his body count body? No, I'm not. I'm not really sure if that's a fair comparison.
It is, because I'm judging based upon particularly opportunity here. You said that more opportunities means it matters more, right? So I gave you a scenario where there's more opportunities, and it seems like it doesn't matter more in the scenario. So it sounds like you apply it to women, but not to men.
I don't know. I'm pretty lost.
It sounds like a double standard to me, right? You didn't apply your reasoning specifically to men, but you applied it to women. When there was a man that had more opportunities, his body count didn't matter more. But when there was a woman that had more opportunities, then her body count mattered more, right? So you apply the reasoning in one scenario, but not the other. Do I need like to draw a picture? Hello? Are you there, bro? Did he just dip, chat? I'm so confused. I can't hear you, man, by the way. Tap that screen, everyone. Let's try to get to 250,000 likes. If you want to help get out to more people, everyone, share the live copy link, send it to your friends. Maybe next time we're going to have to bring out the diagrams and the images, chat. So, yeah. Are you there, man? Hello? Oh, he left. Okay, we're going to go to the next individual. Only send a guest request if you think that a high body count should matter for women, but not for men, y'all. Let's get the next person up here, everyone. Yo, what's up? How old are you?
Me?
Yeah.
4.
How old?
44.
44? Yeah. Do you think that a high body count should matter for women, but not for men?
I think culturally speaking, it matters. I think it's always mattered. Guys have always wanted women that weren't, perceived as promiscuous, right? And that hasn't always been a prerequisite for most women in what they're looking for a mate. So I think culturally it definitely matters. And I think what he was saying, regardless of whether he's citing a source or not, I think there is some truth to what he said as far as for a guy, it is more difficult to go out and just have sex with someone. Like if you go to a bar today, right, and you go try to pick up a girl, you might be successful. But if a girl goes and she's trying to pick up a guy, there's going to be probably 100% chance that she's going to be successful if she's even remotely.
I don't think it's
average.
100%, but let me ask you this question, right? If in this scenario of someone who's like Drake, right, he has more opportunities than the average woman, right?
Right.
Given the same body count, would his body count matter more?
I would think it would matter. I don't think his body count matters much at all.
Oh, okay. So the man's body count doesn't matter, even though he has more opportunities.
Yeah, I do.
But the woman's does when more opportunities. That's called a double standard, and that's called misogyny.
Well, it's fine if you want to call it misogyny.
Yeah, it's prejudice against women because you have no reason.
Well, my reason is that it's always mattered culturally. It's always mattered. It's
just because it's mattered is not good reason for it to continue mattering, right? Just because it has been a way doesn't mean it should be that way. Because there are people, hold up. Throughout the context of history, children were married to adults. Does that mean that should happen?
That hasn't ever been a cultural norm.
That was a cultural norm throughout almost all of society. What are you talking about?
What source do you have for that?
Really? Yeah. So we can look at biblical scripture. We can look at the biblical times. You can look at American history, specifically in the 1900s, where child marriage was a commonplace, right?
Okay. Well, what is the specific scripture you're referencing?
I mean, you can just look at like the typical ages for like a Jewish woman at that time to be married. It's between 12 through 16. You can get this from Christian sites.
People may have had varying life expectancies, though, right? So
you can get this from Christian sites. And the varying life expectancies basically go away mostly once you account for infant mortality. The reason why the average age was lower at that time period was mainly because of that. If you take that into account, it's like 58, 60, something like that. Like, yeah, average lifespan has increased over time, right? But not as much as like what you would associate with like 30 years to that.
Yeah, somebody keeps bringing up Joseph and Mary, but I think a better example...
Isaac and Rebecca.
I think if we're going to bring up a better example, the best example would be Muhammad and Aisha or whatever her name is. Now that's ridiculous, right?
Yeah, Rebecca. Well, I mean, you can also look at Isaac and Rebecca, where Rebecca was 10 to 13 and Isaac was 37. So this isn't just specifically related to Islam; it's also in the context of Christianity.
Isaac was 37 and Rebecca was how old?
Yeah, God impregnated a minor.
Well, okay, fine. You know, if he did it,
fine is crazy. Fine is crazy.
Yeah, I'm saying, look, if God did it, that was the way it should be, obviously. But it wasn't.
That's crazy. Like that. That's crazy.
Yeah.
So you think it's okay for God to impregnate a minor?
I think it was okay for God to impregnate Mary. Yes.
Yeah. Do you think it was good for God to impregnate Mary?
Yes, of course it was.
That's crazy, bro.
I mean, the level of maturity of Mary, and at that time, and the culture,
level
we don't
of
have
maturity. She was 12 to 16.
Sure, but we didn't live 2,000 years ago. We don't know what the life.
We did.
What life was like,
yes, we know what lifespan was. We have records of that. We have data.
We're talking about maturity levels and what people were doing back then.
Yeah. Okay. So you think a 12 through 16-year-old was mature enough back then to get impregnated by God?
I think if God decided it, then she was. Yeah.
That's crazy, bro. That's crazy. So okay, that's actually.
Do you believe that God
you asked what evidence do you have that this was culturally acceptable at the time? Quite literally, your fucking own views.
Okay, fine.
That's the same argument that they use for Aisha. You know that, right? That's the same argument they use for Aisha.
No, because he raped Aisha. So.
Oh, and God. Oh, by the way, to say R-word essay. God R-worded Mary.
No, he came to her and said, "I'm gonna,
He
I want to give you a
impregnated her. She's a minor.
She agreed that she wanted to have.
She's a minor. She's a minor, and quote unquote Aisha agreed too. You know that, right? That's their notion of. They say agree. It's not actually agreeing because they're not old enough.
Well, 9 years old. Clearly, you have no maturity at all, and we don't know for sure.
Same thing with fucking 12 through 16. You know what I was doing when I was 12 years old, Daily?
What were you doing when you were 12?
I was fucking playing Call of Duty. I was grinding, making YouTube videos.
Okay,
that's what I was doing.
So what were you doing?
I was wearing neon Under Armour clothes, yellow neon Under Armour clothes that looked like a highlighter, and also got all the bees to follow me. That's what I was doing.
Well, that's cool, man. Good for you.
I was the highlighter kid. Okay, that's what was happening when I was 12. And you're saying at that time it was okay for God to impregnate Mary?
Let me explain the reasoning behind that. Look. Do you believe that God impregnated Mary at all? Or do you think that's just
I don't believe that, no.
Okay, so if you did believe it, and if there is a God, and God would know best, right? If there is a God, God would know best,
I would not hold that, no.
Okay.
Because a lot of the shit in the Old Testament and that God is allowed, I don't even understand how you could point to and say that's good. And the same way that you point to like Islam and you're like, oh my God, God allowed for that the grape of Aisha to happen. That's a bad thing, right? I think that's a bad thing, right? Is the same way that I critique you. When you're doing that, you're actually running a problem of evil, okay? You're running a problem of evil on the Muslims, right? Which ironically is also applicable to you.
It's not applicable in the same way when you have a girl that's 9 and literally not developed at all.
And Isaac was 37, and so was, and then the person who was with Rebecca was 10 to 13. So,
what's your source for that?
That's literally from the Bible.
Really, read it.
Okay, I got you. All right. It's gonna take me a second to find it, but in the meantime, you can bring up a separate point.
Okay. Well, I just think, generally speaking, it does matter if a woman has a higher body count because of the promiscuity factor that comes into play. Now, I don't know. Maybe it doesn't matter to you. Maybe you wouldn't mind having a girl that's, say, been with 100 dudes or something like that. If it doesn't matter to you, that's fine. But I think culturally, it matters to most people. You know what I mean? So I wouldn't choose to deliberately go find a girl that has, hey, let's go marry this chick who slept with 1,000 guys, right? Obviously,
dude. You hold to the Bible.
Her barrier of entry.
Wait, that's actually fucking hilarious. If you're Christian, tell me, would Jesus look at body count differently?
Would Jesus look at body count differently between men and women? No, I think actually everyone should. No, if we're speaking from a purely religious standpoint.
Are you religious?
Yes. Yes. But I'm talking culturally. Culturally. That's what we're talking about. Culturally. Yeah. Yeah. Culturally, bro. Hopefully.
Misogyny's got this men going against their own fucking religion. That's crazy, bro.
Also, so let me ask you this: do you think it's acceptable for a woman to have
crazy.
No, it's not going against my own religion.
Yes, you did. You just disagreed with Jesus because of the
No,
misogyny.
I did not disagree with him. I said culturally, I think it matters.
Thank you so much.
You obviously don't know how
Culturally,
to.
wait, no. I'm saying why should a high body count matter? So that's under your own view. If you're saying right now in the culture it matters, you know you're not disagreeing with the. You're not like arguing anything.
I think generally, if a woman has slept with less guys, then she's going to be perceived to be higher.
No, I'm asking you under your view. Like, why should that be the case? I'm not asking why is it that high body count matters for women more than men. Because yes, in our society right now, men do apply more value onto women doing these things, but that's just misogyny, right? Because it's a double standard applied to women for no reason. Bills Mafia, I appreciate the galaxy. Thank you so much, Bills Mafia. I appreciate it.
I think generally everyone should have a low body count until they find the person they're supposed to be with, or a no body
between men and women.
Morally, yes. Culturally, no. That's what I'm saying. So yeah, morally, I think a guy who sleeps around is just as immoral as a woman who sleeps around, right?
And then also you can look up Genesis 25. I think it's 20 through 26.
Yeah, it says she was 14. I already looked it up.
Okay. I don't see where it says 14. Give me 1 second. Yeah, okay. Well, I'd have to check in a second. But I think it depends on the translation that you're referencing.
Sure. So, I mean, I guess I'll grant you the point there as far as the age
and that's
gap.
not better anyway, by the way, but...
Huh?
That's not better, by the way, anyway.
It's better than 9. I mean, 9 is insane. You know what I mean? But yeah.
So is 14.
Yeah, to
don't act like you're better, bro.
Okay,
that's
so it's
still
not
great. That's still great.
Hold on, I just read it real quick to make sure. So it says her age at the time of the marriage isn't explicitly mentioned in the text. Okay,
where does that say that? You want me to bring up right now? I can bring up Matt who speaks. It's he says the text is not stated. It is extrapolated via ages at the time.
Yeah, it says according to Jewish tradition, she's believed to be around 3 when she was betrothed to Isaac. The actual marriage would have taken place when she was older, typically during teenage.
I'll let him address this here for a second, but then I'll apply the whole point.
Yeah. So the age of Rebecca is not given, but how they get to the age of 14 is that it does give the age of Sarah, who is Isaac's mom. It gives the age of Isaac when Sarah died. It gives the age of Isaac when he was born. It gives the age of Isaac when Rebecca was born, and then it gives the age of Isaac when they married. And so they use these numbers to then do a calculation of how old she had to be based on verses in Genesis 23 through 25, how old she had to be. And there's a range. People who are very anti Judaism will say that she was 3 years old. I don't believe that. I think the text, if you use numbers and also just basic tradition, she was anywhere probably from 12 to 14, which was the common age of girls to get married at that time. And that's probably the same age as Mary was when she married Joseph, who Joseph probably was in his 20s or 30s at the time too. So this is common. Same thing with Abraham. Same thing with David. I mean, women were married off younger to older men, and that was the prevailing cultural norm at the time.
Yeah, and I don't think that's a good cultural norm, obviously. But we'll say, I know
God grants it. God explicitly grants it, especially to David. David and Abraham, God gives Abraham his wives. God gives David his wives, and they are all pretty young. Read Genesis 25. God.
I agreed with you. I said true.